Alright, another commentary video for Mr. Quickdraw Player on the left side. So I'm making this three video part series where I follow pretty much this Quickdraw Player around. He does a T-set, pretty much start off his turn by winning the die roll. On the right side, we're playing against Diva Zombie. He activates the mind control to take the set monster. Takes the Raikou to pop his back row. So the Raikou is able to pop the face down. He summons a tomato, and he mills. Does he mill here? I think he milled already. Then he mills a something. Brings out the Gores on the first declaration of attack, and then the tomato. I think the tomato. He brought it out on the tomato attack. Tributes for the Kais to banish the tomato here, and then the Gores and the token can hit for 14, 24, and 27. So that's going to be what 38. 38 plus 27 is 55. No, 65. So he's at 1500 life points, but he also took the 1000 from the tomato, so he's at 500. Activates the yeah, he activates the full into a Dandelion. So now he has a full board of monsters. And he just scoops. Yeah, so very unfortunate for the the Diva zombie player on the left or the right. So because of that, he was able to just pop off, really. That was the quickest game of Quick Draw I've ever seen in my life. Alright, what do we say back here? Diva Zombie does play a lot of the trap cards, so it's not unheard of to side Decree against them. Even though the Diva Zombie player likes having no back rows to oppose them, uh, they still have to resolve the decree. So if he does keep his trap cards in against Diva Zombies, he should be okay. Siding out Tomato might be an interesting choice, but Tomato helps the decks become more consistent, especially with Pyramid Turtles as well. The Pyramid Turtles can simply help him get into another zombie, and then whatever zombie you have in your hand or Diva, you can just normal summon it and then make your single plays. If Diva Zombies can side like Deck Devastation Virus to resolve against the Quick Draw player, it might spell a game for him. What else do they side deck? Fossil Dyna is a choice too, but Fossil Dyna is really bad because you can't Synchro Summon, so you definitely want to Synchro Summon. If he's on the Ultimate Offering Zombie version, then maybe he can side the Fossil Dyna and then back his Synchro plays up with the Fossil Dyna. That would be pretty cool too. However, the Quick Draw player does play Hamster and Raikos, so if he does have Raikou, he can just simply pop the monster. But the Synchro plays often ends up with Bryanak, so the Bryanak can just bounce the Raikou. So yeah, that would be an ideal game state for Ultimate Offering Zombies. I'm not sure if he's on Ultimate Offering, so we'll find out. Okay, game 2 is now started. Diva Zombies most likely going to want to go first. So he can set his Pyramid Turtles, his Tomatoes, and his Goblin Zombies. Activates Allure of Darkness, draws 2. See what he banishes here. Banishes a Tomato. Okay, and so he does not like Tomato in this matchup because Raikou can simply pop it. Goes into the Lone Fire play where he tributes the Lone Fire, and then now he has the option to go into Titanial to make his Avarice 3 cards deep in case he tributes off the Titanial. Okay, if he attacks with Titanial here, it would be pretty good spot for him because even if the Pyramid Turtle gives him a non-tuner and he summons a tuner next turn, he'll have to deal with the Titanial with the back rows. So he gets a Goblin Zombie as predicted, and now he summons a Deep Sea Diva. Alright, pretty good play so far. The textbook play for Deep Sea Diva, or the Diva Zombie deck. So does he go into another Diva here? Most likely. I'm not sure why he's contemplating it. Oh, it looks like he has no more targets. Unfortunate for him. So it looks like he sided out Deep Sea Diva, or he just drew the second copy. So unfortunate for him, he has to make it into a Bryanak, and the Bryanak loses priority here if in case it is a bottomless. And it looks like he forgets to search. Wow, that just happened. Okay, yeah, definitely don't forget to search with the Goblin Zombie, even though it's mandatory. This would be yeah, this would be pretty much a warning for both players for pretty much failure to maintain like proper game state. So yeah, so he loses his Mirror Force just to bounce the card, and then he Titanials. Not sure why he pitched two to activate Titanial to activate Bryanak because the Bryanak would get negated anyways because of Titanial. So that's pretty bad for him. He does actually side the Falsodyna, so we predicted that to be right. Activates Torrential on the Falsodyna. Okay. All right. So now he wants to simplify the game state. since he is kind of on one card hand, it looks like, or two card hand. Yeah, it looks like he's on a two card hand here, and he's gonna go to 4 because of the draw for turn. Not sure what he's gonna search for. Maybe a quick draw. Quick draw would be pretty good here, so he can make a Danny Warrior since he doesn't have any trap cards by the looks of it. Gets a Debris Dragon, which is also a better choice. So this way he can make a Iron Chain Dragon or a level 7 Synchro. Alright. Yeah, there was no reason to, if you know that you only have two divas in your whole deck, there was definitely not a need to normal summon the diva here. He should have just set the Mirror Force and deal with the Titanial, because the Titanial loses pretty hard to a Mirror Force. Um, yeah, so he makes the Black Rose with 2 tokens without blowing up the field. Attacks here into a Gores, so the Gores will be able to bring itself down. If Black Rose uses the effect, I'm not sure if it's permanent to make them lose attack. If it is permanent, I would use the effect of Black Rose, but I'm pretty sure it's not permanent. I think it's only until the end of turn. So he uses the Gores and he attacks over the Black Rose and the token with the token, and now he attacks with Gores, and now he sets back row compulsories in the damage step, but he cannot do that, so he reminds him that he can't do that, and then he sets on the back row. All right, that's fine. Now he special summons the Cyber Dragon. The Cyber Dragon is still not bigger than the token, so he's gonna have to tribute for Kaius here to banish the token, or make a synchro play if he could. Yeah, he attacks the face down here, and he attacks over the Plague Spreader zombie, and now he has to deal with the token still. He sets another card to his back to his monster zone. Could be a hamster, could be could be a Raikou. It is another Raikou. So he pops the token because he has a hard time running it over, and he knows that face down is compulsory because he showed him. He now summons the Botanical Lion after he after he passes turn with the Raikou swing. And then he attacks, not activating the compulsory after all. So now he has a 1800 monster with a 2100 monster. Activate Book of Life, so he's gonna probably banish the Dandelion or the Titanial, depending on if he averses. Chooses the Dandelion because he doesn't want the Big Dragon to go into a Black Rose again, even though Black Rose is in the graveyard. Top decks for Plague Spreader Zombie. Could go into a Goyo Guardian to steal, since he already used the Brionac. And this time he gets a search here, and the Plague Spreader Zombie gets banished. Searches for Mizuki. The Mizuki will have to normal summon itself the next turn, so that he could actually do something with it. I don't think he normal summoned, so he definitely could have summoned the Mizuki. But there was nothing he could have attacked over anyway, so it made sense. He activates Mark the Rose here. He steals the Goyo Guardian. So the Goyo Guardian is going to be able to steal his Cyber Dragon back if he wants to. Summons a card trigger so he can contact fusion his own monster to go into Chimera Tech Fortress. And this is going to be swinging for 48. Alright, yeah, that's the game. Alright, so the the Diva Zombie deck pretty much got 2-0'd here. Which is unfortunate because Diva Zombies is actually a really good deck. But I think you have to learn how to play the play lines correctly. And I think it's the first time that he was playing Edison. So, because he did forget to search for the Goblin Zombie when he made it the Brionac. And he did pitch 2. Not knowing that Brionac is not once per turn. So maybe he had the rotted version, and he was probably confused about the Brionac. But yeah, the Quickdraw Player wins this game 2-0, so yeah, good for him. And we're going to go on to the next one. Hey guys, another commentary video for Quickdraw on the right side and Black Wings on the left side, Pier. Not sure who goes first. I think the Quickdraw Player is going to be going first for this match. So we'll see what happens. He normally summons the Lone Fire here, goes through all the Lone Fires, and goes straight into a Titanial. Titanial seems to be the deck of choice for the past week and a half with all the content creators promoting this deck. So I'm guessing this player felt very intrigued by the deck lists that have been coming out. All right, he draws return here, the Blackwing player. So now he's staring down a Titanial, which is pretty bad for Blackwings, especially if you don't have a Kalut to deal with this. He does a T set, or he does 2 sets to his 1 monster, flips the Dust Shoot, and see what he does here. And he reveals a Tragodia, a Hamster, a Raikou, and a Book of Moon. He picks the Hamster to go back to the deck already. Shuffles the deck, draws 2, or draws nothing. Sets the Raiko, attacks over the monster first. Changes Book of Moon to the D prison. Okay, not bad. Protecting his Titanial. Still sending monsters in Blackwing, so I'm not entirely sure what those cards are. Looks like he just drew a bunch of values, so he's just sending them. Mills the Kaiest, Foolish, and a Brain, so there's no brain control in this game. If he summons a Dandelion, he can pretty much protect his Titanium from being targeted and a bunch of back rows, but he does not have it. Sets another card and sets another card as back row. Alright, now what I'm not sure what he's going to do next. He does have two values in the graveyard, so if he does summon a Sirocco ever, he's able to save it. He does have a Raiko in attacking position. The Book of Moon. I'm not sure why the Shura got destroyed. Oh, he Book of Mooned his Raiko. So the Raiko in battle was flipped off the Book of Moon, so he flips the Raiko to pop his Shura, and he sets in the back row on his following turn after he beats over the Shura. After he attacks directly for 28. Summons the Blizzard here, and he wants to revive the Shura. Now he has to Synchro Summon into a Goyo Guardian if he wants to attack over the Titanial. Goes into a Bryanag, which is I don't think is correct here because of the Titanial. So this is going to be hard for him to run over. Even if he does have a Dark Arm in the graveyard, he'll have to crash his Dark Arm if he wants to do anything. Pitches a Sirocco so that he can force the Titanial, and now he can bring out his I guess he can bring out his Arm Wings now, since he does have two values in the graveyard. He normal summons the Blizzard, tries to summon another Blackwing, but he can't. So he'll have to go into the Arm Wing first, and then special the Bora if he wants to special summon the Bora. Okay, he makes the Arm Wing here, and player on the right side activates Solemn Judgment. You actually cannot Solemn Judgment the summon of from Vayu because Vayu is an effect that special summons. So he makes the Armor Master here, and he wastes half his life points just to stop that. The Bora does piercing damage. The attack order was I would say it's incorrect here to attack with the Bora first, only because he might have had a hamster set. Even though he knew his hand, he could have drawn into a hamster. So the Arm Wing should have attacked over the Raiko, and then even then the Raiko has a choice to pop the Armor Master because it is the stronger monster. So if he does choose the Bora, at least he keeps the Armor Master. But if he chooses the Armor Master, then the Bora can attack over the token that he built off the Raiko. So he activates Call the Honda here, and he brings out the Titanial, and he attacks over the Bora with the Gores. And then he draws a Lure of Darkness and draws two, and he scoops. So yeah, pretty difficult game on the left side just because you drew so many values, and it's very difficult to run over a Titanial if you don't draw a Kalut or a Whirlwind. So yeah, with game two, we're gonna start the game two. Not sure what the Quickdraw Player would side deck. Maybe he'll side deck a Decree. I think I saw his list. Yeah, I made a deck profile of his list, and he does have a Decree in his side deck. On the left side, I was definitely side deck Devastation Virus because Quickdraw does rely a lot heavily on having small monsters to make big single plays, such as Debris Dragon. But it looks like on the right side, he's siding out Debris Dragon out of his main deck. And siding out the Debris and siding out maybe a quick draw against this matchup, and maybe even siding out a Dandelion. Who knows? Um, Not too sure what he's gonna do, but the deck on the left would have to open up Whirlwind if he wants to activate Devastation Virus on the first turn. So the quick draw player does have the advantage on being able to side in Decree because once he makes a sides in Decree and he does go second, he can set the Decree, and if deck Devastation ever becomes live on the left side, he can just flip the Decree and then negate the deck Devastation Virus. Uh, Ideally, he wants to open up a Lone Fire too. So if he can open up a Lone Fire with the Decree, he can definitely protect his Decree from being destroyed by Icarus attack and even MST too. Additionally, he can probably side in monsters that are above 1500 attack points. He is on Botanical Line. I don't know why he plays Botanical Line, but he loves Botanical Line because it is above 1500 attack points. It's also a plant monster too, so he can bring it out. So he's definitely contemplating what he wants to side here. He does play a lot of spells, so even though he does side it in Decree, he does have 3 Book of Moons to back up the Decree in case that he needs a trap card or that defends. A pseudo trap card, which is Book of Moon. So they take a while to decide here. We're going to skip to the part where they start the match. Okay, game two is now starting. Blackwing should be going first. Looks like I see a Bora in his hand. I'm not entirely sure what he's gonna do with it. Or it looks like on the right, he makes the other player go first. Did I skip a whole game? No, that's impossible. It looks like he decides to let the quick draw player go first, which I think is kind of incorrect. But maybe he has a strategy. He pumps the Bora over and attacks over the Botanical Line. Botanical Line has like 2,000 defense. Pumps the Bora up to 37, so he'll be taking 1,700 life points. Draws return here after setting a back row. Not sure what he has set. Might be an Icarus attack. Could be a defensive trap too. He lost his Decree. Or no, he lost his Call of Haunted and Phoenix Wing Windblast, so I guess he doesn't sign into Decree with Black Wings. Okay, he pumps up the Bora and he shifts the Sirocco to defense mode, fearing the Mirror Horse. So he pumps up the Bora so that this way Bora can get all the stats from Sirocco. Flips over the Hamster and now he special summons the Raikou set, and he chain disappearance the looks like he chain disappearance all the Raikou. I haven't seen that before. And then it looks like he changed the Icarus attack too, on top of the Decree, so that he can destroy the Decree on the chain. Now he has to deal with the Botanical Line in defense mode. This has been a very strange game. Special summons the Gale here, or normal summons it, I'm not sure. Halves the Botanical Line, so it goes down to a 1,000 defense. He has the option here to make a Dark End or Stardust. I would make a Dark End just so that he doesn't tribute for Caius here. Nope, he sets a back row here and he passes. Summons the Dandelion so that the Botanical Line's bigger. He gains like 200 attack for each plant monster, including himself. So now he's 2,000 attack, I think. Yeah. So he switches. He just takes back his move and sets the Dandelion instead. Looks like Gale's gonna run over the Botanical Line, and they're gonna attack over the Dandelion token. Okay, he activates Soul Release to take out the remaining monsters in the graveyard, so he can't use Pot of Avarice. Activates Double Colute to kill the Titanial. Okay, that's a move. Okay, so now he now has no monsters on the field, so he can do a lot of damage here. Attacks for 13 and 2,000. He could Sacro Summon into a level 8. Does not do it. Maybe he has a good defensive back row. Torrential's his own board. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that play. Yeah, I definitely would not do that play. So now he's in a simplified game state. He heavy storms his back row, loses a deck devastation virus, top decks it to Ashura, so now he can attack directly for 1,800. And then he draws return, and now looks like he has 2 Avarice that are dead. So now we go to game 3. Alright, now that game 3 starts, most likely the quick draw player is going to want to go first again, even though the Blackwing player made him go first. So that was very surprising. Let's see what happens here. So the Cree player, so I think he was under the impression that he was going to go first, or the quick draw player was under the impression that he was going to go second, but he still kept in his trap cards for Decree, so he's pretty much a madman here. Siding Decree with the trap cards would mean that he would have to activate Decree last if he opens up a hand of traps. And if he does that, I guess he can just play that. Makes it so that he only flips a Decree if he gets value out of it. Looks like he draws into Decree here. Most likely he does not set the Decree. Special summons the Cyber Dragon here, attacks over the Hamster. The Raikou gets set. Now he can do the play where he destroys his back row. He passes turn by the looks of it, without setting any back row. Looks like he drew a hand full of monsters. Not sure why he set another monster without flipping the Raikou. MST's in the end phase. Not entirely sure what's going on here, why he's not attacking with the Cyber Dragon to the Raikou. So now, not sure what he set. Most likely he set a Dandelion with the Raikou. He sets a back row and he passes, and the Cyber Dragon can clearly attack if he wants to. Attacking over the Raikou would be good here. No, tributes for Caius. Oh, tribute set. Okay. So he tribute sets maybe a Sirocco, and he flips a Decree. So now that he's more invested into the back row, he can just pop the monster, and then flip another Raikou to pop the deck devastation virus. Oh, I see, I see. So he wanted to do the play where he wanted a deck devastation of him. but the decree pretty much locks him out of the back row. Activates Pot of Avarice here to return all 5 monsters to draw 2 cards, so pretty bad position for the Blackwing player. I do see a Mirror Force in his hand, so he's gonna have a hard time yeah, in this game because Decree's down. He's gonna need to find a way to round both a Titanium and a Quick Draw Danny Warrior, Draw Warrior, and he's gonna be able to banish it to recycle his Dandelion. So this Titanium would have infinite negation. So pretty bad position for the Blackwing player. He does draw his Shura. Hopefully he has a Shaklut to run it over, and he does not, so he scoops. All right, yeah, that was a game against the Blackwing versus the Quick Draw matchup. Generally favored that the Blackwing player has the matchup against Quick Draw, but he does have a lot of hate for Blackwings, so he does have the Twister by the looks of it, Decree, and DD Crow. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that commentary video for the match. Very quick matchup. I was betting on the Blackwing player to win, but sometimes even if you have the natural advantage, if you do a lot of misplays, you'll have a hard time winning the game. All right. On to the next one. What's up, guys? It's gonna be another commentary video. On the right side, we have Quickdraw Player versus on the left side, which is me, playing by Turbo. So he goes first. He wins the die roll, goes through all his lone fires into a Titanium. Never sure if you should ever go into 2 lone fires, but it makes sense that he would do that because he does have avarice. So he sets 2 back rows, and then I draw for turn. He draws into a dust shoot, which is really good for him. A dust shoot with a titanium is usually game, but we'll see what happens here. He selects a Dark Arm Dragon here to put back to my deck, and he leaves me with the Caius. I do have the option to kill the Titanial if I set the Raikou, so I activate Charge the Light Brigade here to mill the Plague Spreader Zombie. I was afraid of that he might summon a Dandelion the following turn, or even a Lone Fire, but he already used Lone Fire. Any Plant Monster would be pretty devastating for me because he can just summon it on his turn, and then if I try to use Raikou to pop the Titanial, he'll just negate and destroy. So I have to do the unthinkable, where I have to top deck the Plague Spreader Zombie and Tribute for Caius, which is a 2-for-1. So I had to neg so that I don't neg harder, is pretty much it. So I take the lesser of the 2 evils here and make sure that I don't, lose the Titanial. And then he tributes the Titanial to negate the effect of Caius, and then now I don't have to deal with that Titanial. I set 2 back rows here and I pass. If I remember correctly, it was a Solemn Judgment and Oppression. He normal summons the Debris Dragon, and I activate Solemn Judgment after and I activate Oppression to negate the debris. He activates MST to destroy the Royal Oppression, then I Solemn Judgment the MST. So keeping the Oppression here is going to be pretty crucial against this matchup because I'll be able to capitalize on the fact that he can't special summon. Okay, I draw for turn here. I flip the Raikou to pop his back row. It's a Torrential. I mill 3. Unfortunately, I do not mill any Vayu or Sirocco, so I send another Raikou. I contemplate whether I want to destroy the Sangan, and I do because I want to be able to mill and also take the Sangan off the board so he doesn't Caius my Oppression. Still not drawing any, or still not milling any Sirocco and Vayu, so really surprising to me to not be able to mill those cards to capitalize on my an open board state, especially with Oppression. So he gets the Card Trooper, and then he activates the Avarice to draw 2 extra cards. So it goes up to 4 cards to my 2. Still not getting any advantage off the Raikou mills, despite milling 9 cards, and there's no Vayu or Sirocco. So very unlucky game for me, despite the fact that I could have came back with the Dust Shoot and the Titanial. I set yet another monster here. It could be a Vayu that I set. Yeah, it's a Vayu. So I drew into the Vayu rather than mill it, which is really unfortunate for me. He sets another back row and I draw. I have the option maybe to... Oh, I do have Sirocco, or Elf and the Raven. Awesome. So the Elf and the Raven is going to make an Armor Master here, and then I can just attack over the Card Trooper if I want to. Probably going to summon another monster if I could, to attack over the Raikou, or to attack over the Card Trooper. The Vayu attacks over the Card Trooper here, and then he can just take 400 damage, and then I can take 25. If he does have the Tragodia here, which he does play, he'll be able to at least bring itself out in the damage step, and I won't be able to negate with Oppression. Activates the Book of Moon on my Armor Master to defend himself. Draws for turn, does a T-set. I draw for turn. I flip the Armor Master here, and then have no other monsters, so I'm most likely going to attack order where I attack with the Armor Master first, tribute over the Sirocco. Okay, Sirocco is going to beat over the Raiko here, and then now he has to gauge whether he wants to destroy my oppression. So it looks like since he doesn't use the Raiko on my oppression, kind of tells me that his face down card is something that can deal with my oppression. Maybe like a Wing Blast or a Rageki Break. Not sure if he plays any of those. I go into a Silver Wind here to attack over his tokens. He activates the brain control here, and then he pumps up the Sirocco with the brain control. He summons the Debris Dragon, and he can now make a level 8 Synchro. But I can Oppression here. I activate Oppression here to negate the debris, and yeah, that's enough life points for me. I go down to 2,800 life points, and he can simply just run over my Silver Wind, and whatever he brings out with the Debris Dragon will just attack me for game. Alright, so game 1 goes to him, even though I almost had a chance to come back. I was able to go up to the Silverwind Ascendant, and that was pretty cool. But I guess it wasn't enough since he does have other cards in his deck besides Titanial. I don't have a side deck again, so I'm going to be playing the game without side decking. Game 2 starts, and we're just going to skip to the part where he's ready. Okay, game 2 starts. I go first. I have a Dust Tornado in my hand by the looks of it, and a Torrential, I think. So I do a play where I set. Oh, this is the Morphing Jar play. Yeah, so I set 4 here with the Morphing Jar, and I wanted to give the impression that it was a Raikou or a Hamster. So, yeah. Hopefully he attacks into the face down monster, and then it flips into the Morphing Jar. That would be super plus. And if I do have a Vayu in my hand, it'd be super super plus. Okay, so he does a T set here, and I do the Dust Tornado on the end phase. I draw for turn. I draw into a Sirocco. So if I do, I special summon the Greffer here, and then I flip the Morphing Jar. He changed the Crow to my Morphing Jar, and I lose the Sirocco, and I draw an extra 5 cards. Okay, cool. So if I draw into a Vayu or a Elf in the Raven, I'll be able to ditch it and send out a Vayu. With my 5 new cards in my hand, I can be able to generate some bodies on the board. I send the Vayu out of my hand to send most likely the Elf and the Raven, so I don't draw into it. Okay, looks like I send the Elf and the Raven to the graveyard, and now I can make the Armor Master. So to play around the hamster, I have to attack with the Armor Master first, and then attack the Raikou with somebody else. Uh, I looked through my extra deck. I tried to look for a Mistworm, but I don't play a Mistworm in my side deck. Otherwise, I would have bounced that thing and attacked for 25 each. Attacks over the Raikou, and then now he has to contemplate whether he wants to destroy my Armor Master, as it is the strongest monster on the field, or he can pop one of my smaller monsters and then take less damage. Pops a Gale here, and he mills 3, gets Dandelion. Lucky for him. I attack over the tokens with my 2 remaining monsters, and I still have three back rows to get heavy stormed. Yeah, I set 3 back row without a Solemn Judgment because I wanted the Morphing Jar to get maximum value. So even if he does heavy storm, it's not too bad of a play. Okay, so he contemplates what he does on his next move. Okay, he activates the Avarice here, and then he returns the 5 monsters back. I have no response to that, and now he's able to draw 2 cards. Alright, looks like he draws into a Decree here, so he'll be able to use it to lock out my back row. He sets a monster, and he passes here. Yeah, draw for turn here. I still have no new monsters I can send off of the Decree. I activate the Morphing Jar to activate the Book of Moon on my Morphing Jar, and I set 3 more back row, thus clogging myself. And then I think I decide to flip the Morphing Jar to get more pluses. So he loses out on his little monsters. If I had Deck Devastation Virus in this deck, I would definitely win this game more easier. Because I'd be able to bring out a lot of monsters with 2,000 or more attack. I draw into it looks like I draw into a Vayu. No, it looks like I drew into a Sirocco and I discard it to send out the Vayu. So now I can make the Arm Wing here if I want to press more damage in. Okay, looks like I attack over the Raikou with the Armor Master, and then he flips the Raikou. Now he has to contemplate whether he wants to destroy anybody. He destroys my Greffer. Looks like him destroying my monster pretty much signifies that he has a decree set. So he does do the end phase decree, which is a shame for me. Hopefully I do have some sort of a defensive trap to stop all this. If he does do a debris dragon play, it'll be pretty bad for me. He doesn't draw debris dragon, so he does a T set, and then he passes. Hopefully I draw into a Caius here. I don't. I heavy storm myself for 5 to a 3, which is pretty bad. But I decided to do it anyways because it's going to help me get my tempo back. So I do have the arm wing still in the graveyard, so I can still make it. I can recharge the Light Brigade and mill another value. Perfect. So it allows me to have even more extension even after the first value. Looks like I do have a Necro Gardener in my graveyard too, so in the case that I do want to negate an attack, I do have the option to survive. I think I was fishing for my Caius. That's what was happening. The Caius would help me just simplify the game. I top deck for Plague Spreader Zombie after I Foolish, and then I think he crows my Plague Spreader Zombie. Yeah. So I lose my Plague Spreader Zombie. I probably shouldn't have committed the Raikou just until I do the Plague Spreader Zombie first. Or perhaps I should have made the Vayu play first and then had him crowing my target and then I do the Brio play. Yeah, I think that was a better play to activate Vayu first before I Foolish Burial. I think I was trying to go into a Brio play to bounce the Raikou in my mind first and then bring out the Vayu and then try to go for lethal. But he does have 8,000 life points, so I'm not sure if that was the correct play. So I used Reiko here to pop my Armor Master. I don't think he mills. Did he mill? Yeah, he milled, because there's a Twister in the graveyard. I didn't see that before. Activates Heavy Storm to destroy my oppression, and he sets back row. Doesn't have a monster. I think I sacrificed for Soroko here, and attack for 27. And I set back row. Alright, he activates MST, and then he special summons Quick Draw. He tributes for Caius, and he attacks over the Morphing Jar. So I take a total of 2700 damage. I do have monsters in my graveyard, so I can just beat over the Caius with my Silverwind. And now he's on top deck mode. Top decks and he draws. I sacrifice for Caius. He loses the hamster. I burial top deck, and then I have lethal on board. Okay, cool. That was game two. I think I attribute this win because of the Morphing Jar resolving twice. So it was definitely favorable for me. Even though I had to heavy storm myself for 5 to a 3, the decree was pretty much in my way in case I wanted to resolve oppression against his deck. And I was able to draw into oppression later on, but he does have the MST anyways. So yeah, tough match for sure. Um, Especially since I don't have a side deck, I would definitely have decided deck devastation virus. Even if he does have decree, I'll at least have Raikou to pop the decree in this matchup. All right, game three starts. He does a T set, pretty classic. That's how he's gonna start off his the game three. Draw for turn here. I summon a. Looks like I summon or activate Foolish Barrier right away. Okay, so I send the Plague Spreader Zombie. Always a bad play to send the Plague Spreader Zombie first, especially since he does side the Crow, and we did see it. I think the play I wanted to go for was Zacchaeus to deal with this set Raikou. So now I'm forced to do a play where I summon or a set a Raikou, normal summon a Grepher, or set a Hamster. Neither play looks good in this scenario, especially since that monster could be anything. So I don't summon any monster. Okay. And he sets another monster and he passes. So I summon Soroko here, and I attack the old set. Maybe I should have attacked the Raikou instead, because if it is a Raikou, then I can at least have some plays. Um, so he synchros the D Crow that he got off the graveyard with a Sangan to make a level 8 synchro. Okay, he makes a Stardust here. I think him making a Stardust means that he has a decree set. So the Stardust will be able to negate any destruction effects. Yeah, searches a Lone Fire off the Sangan, and now he can make his Titanial play with the 2 Dandelion tokens. So I'm in a pretty bad spot here because the Stardust with the Titanial is pretty much spells out game. I draw for turn here, and now I have to deal with a Stardust. He activates the Decree in the end phase, so I'm in a pretty bad spot at this point, especially since he does have Lone Fire into a Titanial. He tributes off his tokens to put everything in attack mode. Hopefully that face down is a Spirit Reaper. It's not. I choose not to destroy anything with Raikou since he can just simply negate it. And I choose to mill 3. I don't mill any monsters I can use. I drew into an MST, which is nice. I summoned Sirocco here to beat over the Lone Fire so I can take out his plant targets. So he takes the 1500 damage here. And I do have the MST, just can't use it, especially since Stardust is on the field. So I use it anyways so I can force him to negate with the Lone Fire. So this way, I can try to make him think it's a D-Prison set, but the D-Prison doesn't do anything. He normal summons a Dandelion, he beats over the Sirocco. Yeah, it's pretty much game. There's nothing I could do at this point. No card in the game can deal with this board. Maybe if I had milled, if I had my Plague Spreader zombie still, I could have made an Arm Wing and then make a Colossal Fighter. That's probably a better the play that I can see, where I crash into the Titanial and then revive itself and attack over the Stardust. However, he did DD Crow my Plague Spreader zombie, so there's no way I can have made it. I was trying to get the first turn Caius off so that I can at least tribute over the Plague Spreader zombie to banish the face down Sangan. This way he wouldn't be able to search for Lone Fire and bring out the Titanial. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the commentary video for Quick Draw versus Vayu Turbo. Granted, I didn't have a side deck, so it was a unfortunate for me, but it's fine. So next time I will definitely be ready for the next time I do play.